And we are live back at the Outer Rim, guys. Welcome in. Happy Monday. Shout out to Urs on that one. He said I could go ahead and talk about the Outer Rim again, guys. Ram, how's it going, man? Happy Monday, sir. How you doing?
Besides feeling like absolute garbage, I'm doing all right.
Yeah. It happens, man. It happens, dude. It happens to the best of us, especially when you're traveling, dude. But the good news is, I'm sure that you could just sit back, relax, and you've got nothing on your plate that could possibly be making your life any more taxing, so that you can heal up, right?
No, of course not. There's absolutely nothing going on in my life at all. I wish I would have known about this Datacron set, because I would have taken this Datacron set with the airport so I could deflect all the garbage that I had at the airport.
I love it, sir. I love it. Guys, if you don't know, so obviously we talked about Datacrons, the Datacron set specifically in Ram's portion of the video. If you guys missed that, make sure you guys get over there right now. Check out that video, and then once you are done with that, then come back over and check out the conclusion, part 2, here on our channel, guys. Like I said, you can find that in the link down below, everybody. So we're going to continue talking a little bit more. Speaking of the Datacron set, we talked a lot about the Datacron set and who it helps, who it doesn't help. And one of the big benefactors of the current Datacron set is Bo-Katan Mandalore. And we're going to be looking a little bit at, one, her, and more importantly here, the fact that she's back. Bo's back, baby. Bo is back, guys. Confirmed. So we're going to go ahead and switch over here so you guys can see this in-game. The event just went live for us here as of recording about 12 hours ago. It will be live through, obviously, the day that this video premieres and the day after as well on Tuesday. I find it very intriguing, Ram, that they brought this back so early. This is only about 3 weeks after the initial drop, guys, that they brought Bo back to the game. There's zero precedence, to be clear, guys, of them doing this. Some stuff they've brought back early, and by early we mean like maybe 2 months after drop. There has never been a precedence of dropping a character 3 weeks after an event dropped like this, an exclusive event, to be clear. Ram, why do you think that maybe they brought this back so soon? What are you thinking, man?
Well, so the obvious answer is they were disappointed with the performance that the first one got, because the first one you unlocked less than 1,000 across the world, less than 1,000 Bo-Katans. So there's the obvious answer, and the bottom line is they want you to spend money. So let's bring the event back. Let's give you an incentivize, and they've been dropping packs all the time for purchase this pack and you get X amount of shards of whoever. So that makes sense there. I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's a possibility that because they're doing this, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe she's required for something later on.
Oh, that's an interesting thought. I
don't know what she could be required for necessarily, but she's just an epic confrontation. She's not a hero's journey or anything like that, and they could easily make her required for something down the line. Maybe they're we have May the 4th get ready to come around.
It's true.
They could be announcing something that's going to maybe require her to be unlocked for it.
Interesting. I hadn't thought about that, to be honest with you. I would think. So I would think, obviously, if she's going to be a requirement for something, it would have to be a GL level character, I would think. The only thing that I can think of that would be GL level connected to her would either be like Ahsoka and Thrawn from the Ahsoka series. I doubt this would happen. A Luke variant from the Mandalorian series. Or I would think probably the most likely scenario would be a dark, or not a dark, oh my goodness gracious, some kind of a Mando character that uses the Darksaber and or the spear, since we haven't really seen that yet. I don't know. I don't know that I think that would happen necessarily. I'll be honest with you, Ram. While that is a possibility, I honestly think it's simply because they didn't make enough money. Less than 1,000 people, guys, engaged in this. And Here's what I think is really interesting with this. So it's pretty obvious, in my opinion, that so they dropped the Datacron set. Everyone sees how good the Datacron set is and how good it's going to make Bo, and they're hoping that that's going to entice people that didn't whale before to come back in and decide to whale. What I find really intriguing about this, though, is that they haven't changed anything outside of just the Datacrons dropping. So, for instance, if we look at the requirements here, guys, Bam obviously has been around for a long time. It's just the relic levels that are the gate for him there. IG-12 Grogu is farmable. He's free to play farmable at this point, but he was before as well. Paz Vizsla, same thing. He's free to play farmable, but he was back then too. Here's the big change, and here's why so many people, from what I heard, didn't whale, or didn't, I shouldn't say whale, but didn't go for Bo, because some people were going to soft whale. They were going to spend, $50, $100, something like that to try to get her unlocked. They weren't willing to spend thousands of dollars. And it's because Keller and Beck was not free to play farmable yet. So it forced them to have to whale hard. He's still not free to play farmable yet. Like, this is what confuses me so much here with CG. Like, I totally understand them bringing a character back after the Datacron drop to try to get more people engaged and more people the opportunity to engage in the character. What I don't get is if it's literally the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over again and expecting different results. Like, bring Keller and Beck out as free to play farmable and then allow those soft whales to engage, spend the $50 to $100, maybe even $200 to be able to unlock this character, and you're going to get a lot more of that money. It goes back so much to, it seems like there is a conflict at CG with the best way to approach their ways of making money. Is the best way to go with stuff that's accessible to a large amount of the player base, like the Lightspeed bundles, or is it best to cater to the really, really, really high-end spenders that are going to just spend thousands and thousands of dollars no matter what price point you put on it? It just seems like they're kind of in that conflict again. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand why you wouldn't bring this out with Keller and Beck being farmable, unless literally today, Monday, when this video drops, they suddenly decide to make Keller and Beck free to play farmable, and then people have like literally 24 hours to go crazy and try to get her. That, I wouldn't be shocked if they pull something like that. I don't know. What are you thinking, Ram? Like, does this make sense to you? Do you think it's a good idea just with Datacrons coming out to incentivize people to come back in again, or do you think they should change this and make Keller and Beck free to play, give it a little bit more opportunity for people?
I think they should make Keller and Beck free to play. I think they should put him on Cantina, because they've already put a hard node and they've already put a fleet node. Cantina makes the most obvious sense. Do that, and because let's be fair, Datacrons is not a good incentivization or whatever the word is.
Right.
People don't like Datacrons unless you are part of the select group of people that do like Datacrons. There is a good number of group that do like Datacrons. You're one of those that do like Datacrons.
Yeah, I do enjoy it.
So yeah. I'm not saying that nobody likes Datacrons, but I'm saying that there is a good majority that don't care about Datacrons. And so if you're saying that, let's here's the new Datacron set and Bo is going to be great for it, that's why you should whale on her. Well, you're alienating that group of people because that's not a good incentivizer. They're not going to care about a Datacron because they weren't going to go after that in the first place anyways.
Yeah.
Give them a different reason to want to go after Bo if that's your goal.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. That the Datacrons, well, again, and we didn't even talk about that. Datacrons are still a pretty exclusive thing for the majority of the player base to engage in. I know that they've made it more accessible by switching to 1, 3, and 5, but still, I can't imagine more than, like, let's say 30%, I would guess, of the player base is actually able to engage in Datacrons at this point. Like, I would think just like that top 30% actually has enough rosters to be able to really engage them. I'm totally making that number off the top of my head, by the way, guys. There's no scientific data at all to back that up, so don't take that as science or truth. But yeah, that's a really good point. But I guess again, if their focus priority group in this is the whales, they do engage in Datacrons. So I guess that kind of does make sense to some degree. But yeah, you raised a good point about putting it in Cantina, because then that is something that people can really whale pretty hard on. It's not like it's a hard node where, you're really stuck, and there's a limit to how much you can actually get in a day. You can put it in a Cantina node and just people can spend oodles and oodles and oodles of crystals on it and still be able to get it. So that makes sense for me from a financial standpoint. Like if I'm trying to market this and make money off of it, like that's something that I would do too. I just find it really interesting that they haven't done that yet. Let us know in comments, folks. Do you think that the Datacrons being released is enough, and it's going to incentivize you to go after Bo if you didn't get her the first time? Or do you think this is just kind of CG missing the mark a little bit and kind of not really understanding the best way to get people to engage in their content? Or are you one of those types that says, I don't care, I'm not doing this no matter what they do? I'm intrigued to see what you guys have to say about this and where you are on the Bo is back topic, everybody. All right, moving on to another recent release. Bo, I know, is not a new release, but her event coming back is a bit of a release. And that is the ship Comeuppance, guys. So we had suspicion that the Resistance fleet was going to be getting some love here, just because we knew that they really needed to fill out the faction. Let's be honest here. They didn't have a full actual faction, so we knew it was a matter of time. And they allude to that actually in their post that they dropped about this. So it's very much needed, a very, very good drop on their end for us to have this. So the Comeuppance, for those of you guys that don't know, this is Zori's ship. It is from the movie, which is great. It looks great. It looks good. I don't think there's anything any issues with the artwork in particular. I heard there was a really limited edition release from Meathead that's really going really high on the market right now. If you guys can find the original canvas artwork that he did, it's super duper impressive. You guys should all look for it. Get in on that bidding war. Meathead, you know. But anyway, moving on to the kit, the more relevant stuff here, guys. The kit for this, we're going to be doing what we call Making the Grade, a segment called Making the Grade, where we're basically going to grade this release, the kit as a whole, and how we think it's going to, impact the factions. So with that being said, well, my button doesn't work. Never mind. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. All right, Making the Grade. So for me, Ram, this kit, it seems like it brings the faction up a little bit. Obviously, having that full fleet makes a big difference here. She is primarily geared to be a reinforcement. So in terms of the fleet chase, guys, the Galactic Chase, as they call it, you definitely want to try to shoot for 5 stars. That's going to be important. The 6 and the 7 stars, I'm not sure how much of an impact that will make at this point. But the 5 stars is definitely important. I think as a reinforcement, not having them at 6 or 7 is another good thing. If you have them out front, being at only 6 or 7, it's more likely they're going to get nuked. Not going to be as effective if they're not at that 7-star mark. So I think that's a nice thing here with the Galactic Chase. I know for me, I'm shooting for a 5-star, maybe 6. We'll see how the drop rate goes, but I'm not going to go for a full 7. That's like 10,000 crystals, I think, is what the calculation came out to be. But basically, long story short, guys, when she comes in, she increases the number of exposes for your entire team, which is really nice. But the other big thing is when she's a reinforcement, she will give your entire fleet, or I should say resistance allies, the dramatic entrance buff for 2 turns. That's the buff that Poe Dameron gets, guys. And then that can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. So a pretty significant bump up. And again, for those of you that don't know, dramatic entrance, 25% offense. You deal bonus true damage equal to 10% of the target's max health. Can't be evaded. Gain 20% turn meter. And again, gain dramatic entrance for 2 more turns if the ship defeats an enemy. So a really good buff across the board. Really going to help out the faction as a whole. Ram, where are you at in terms of your thoughts on this kit, this character, and then what grade would you give it, sir? I think for me, I'm probably going to go with a B- is what I'm kind of leaning towards. Good, but not great. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, looking at the kit, it does do a good chunk. It obviously is the 5th resistance ship that we've been needing. Let's be honest, because that fleet has always just been kind of poo-poo. It's been lackluster. The exposes are nice. The counter chance, 100% counter chance. Whenever they attack on a turn, come up as assists or whatever. So that's it. It's gonna do some good damage. It's probably gonna raise the fleet up a level. It's not going to bring it to, high end, like certainly not profundity or anything like that. It might be able to compete with like AdRad or something small like that. But I mean, overall, the kit looks fine. It looks like it should provide enough oomph to the resistance fleet to at least be a solid fleet instead of a hodgepodge, which is what they've been. I'm kind of with you. I think a B at most, but B- is probably good. It's not meta defining. It's not going to change the fleet and make you be able to do things that you weren't ever able to do before. But it's going to provide more stability and maybe make it harder for someone to take out a Radis fleet.
Yeah, I like it. I know for me, so I see this as being more of an offensive viability, I think, than defensive viability. I know that this team can be thick and tricky, but let's be honest here. So, like, in terms of what it's punching up to with this release, like Malevolence, I think is still going to absolutely destroy this. I know for me, usually that's my go-to counter if I'm facing, kind of the meta ships plus this on defense. Usually Malevolence goes against this. And I think her being on this comp isn't going to really change anything with that. So I think because of that, like, it just kind of limits its potential. It's not so much that the kit or the ship itself is bad. I think it's more that the fleet as a whole just isn't really that good. I think if this was, the equivalent of going on like the Malevolence fleet, for instance, let's say that, you had a similar design like this where you got Retribution and you were putting exposes on the opposing faction, etc. You got Dramatic. And if you were putting this on Malevolence and that fleet, this would probably be an A for me. Like, to be clear, guys, it's not necessarily that the ship or the kit itself is bad. I think it's just that the fleet itself just isn't quite there. I think it's definitely going to be more offensive, and it's still probably just going to be a cleanup. I think I still don't think it's necessarily going to be able to go out and to beat everything on its own. Let us know in comments, everybody. What do you think is going to happen with one? What grade would you give this ship itself? And then B, what do you think the Resistance fleet's viability is going to be here? Do you think it's going to be offensive only? Do you think it's going to hold better on defense now than what it has in the past? Do you think it's going to be a hard counter to any fleet in particular? I can't imagine anything off the top of my head, but I'd be intrigued to see what you guys have to say, where you think this is going to kind of fit and work best. All right. Yeah. With that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and pivot to the final portion of our video here today, which is our Master of Memes. So for those of you that don't know, we do a Master of Memes every Friday night over on Twitch. We have 2 memes that have been submitted by different people face off against each other. Ram and I are going to check out those 2 memes here today. We're going to choose the ones that we think are the best and should win, and then we're going to find out what you guys, the audience, voted and chose to be the winner. So with that being said, everybody, let's go ahead and get into it. First Master of Memes matchup. Oh, bananas. Hold on, guys. I got to change the screen. Come on. There it is. All right. Got it.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties, guys. All right. So we've got, and I always feel like I can't read this first one because I'm going to give away the answer. So I'll let you guys read. So the first one, go ahead and read what's on that paper there, guys. Okay. All right. You all got that, right? All right. Now, is that no ice or is it nice? It's such a well done meme, guys. Especially if you guys have watched what is it, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think is the show, right? Yeah.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I haven't watched a lot of it, but I at least understand the reference and everything. It's a very funny show from what I understand. So we've got that one versus, and I'm gonna let you guys read this because of YouTube. We got a Stormtrooper. We've got the before, and then we've got the after. If you don't get this, you might need to go Google something. I'm not saying that you need to do that or you have to do that, everybody. You just might want to. Be warned. It is not PG friendly.
I feel like whoever made that second one had a missed opportunity because they could have put in after the after one. It could have put in a third one that is. You ever seen the meme from The Office that it's the same picture?
Oh yeah, they're the same.
It's the same picture.
It's the same picture. Yeah, that's true.
This is a missed opportunity right
That's
there.
true. Yeah,
You could have had that one, and it would have really sold it.
I like that idea. That actually would be a whole nother. I bet you that meme doesn't even exist too. Like I bet you it's not out there at all. I bet you nobody's thought of that before, Ram. There you go. You're going to be an OG meme creator, man. You're going to be sweeping the internet. All right, Ram, which one do you like best here, sir? Which one would you choose as the master of memes?
Oh man, they are both really good for very different reasons. Obviously, the Brooklyn Nine-Nine one is that's a classic. And
it is.
I'm struggling to not say it in his voice because it's just it's so good. Oh God, the other one hits you for very different reasons.
Really?
Which I can't
Does it
say.
actually hit you though? Does it actually hit you?
Well, depending on. I mean, it's stormtroopers. I don't know if they do actually hit you.
Yeah.
That's.
Their aim is renowned all over the galaxy, guys. Renowned all over the galaxy. So which one are you choosing here, Ram?
This is a tough one, man. I gotta go with the Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I gotta go with the noise.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so for me,
I really do like. I do like them both. So shout out to whoever made them both.
Yeah,
but I think the Brooklyn Nine-Nine one is just a little bit better.
They are both very good. For me, I've got to go with the before and after. It's it's just anytime you have the opportunity to make fun of stormtroopers and their aim, I'm all about it. And this one is super on point.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what the audience chose, guys. They believed that the master of memes was indeed the before and after. Who's really surprised by that?
I'm not disappointed with that one.
It's one, it's a Star Wars one, and two, you guys are all know who you are out there. That's all I'm going to say. Let us know in the comments, guys. Do you think this should have won? Do you guys think this should have won the Master of Memes? Do you think that you have a better meme out there that should be considered and would win over this meme? If you do, guys, head over to Discord. Put your meme into our Master of Memes channel. We will add you to the list. And then, like I said, we will shout you out over on Twitch live when it happens. We'll shout you out on Discord when it happens. We'll give you a special role and everything for that. And then last but not least, we will shout you out here on the Rogue Actions video. Congrats to none other than Jam Sandwiches, i.e. Jamantha, guys. Jamaranth sometimes, if you will. For her win on Master of Memes. Congrats, Jam. Very well done. Ram, any final parting words, sir?
Airports suck. And...
Unless you have a deflection cron, then it's not so bad.
Unless you have a deflection cron. And never forget the 5Ds of Datacrons.
Guys, if you liked today's video, obviously make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that jazz. Of course, if you haven't already checked out Ram's part 1 over on his channel, make sure you guys get over there and do that too. Last but not least, if you guys want to continue your journey down this slug of rabbit hole that we've got here, everybody, make sure you guys check out the next video. See you, everyone.